Hi, this is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts and leaders share their real advice. It's 5 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. I'm so excited to have our guest on today. In a few sentences, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name's Jonny Price. I'm the VP of fundraising at wefunder.com, which is an investment crowdfunding platform that helps startups and small business owners raise capital from their fans and community and customers, as well as rich people.
I like that, as well as rich people. Nice. Well, Jonny, this podcast is all about creating authentic connections and some real advice. And I hear from other leaders that creating authentic connections, whether it's customers or your partners, vendors, employees, it can be challenging when it's very noisy out there. What's your take on that?
Yeah, WeFund is a two-sided marketplace. So we have 150,000 investors on the platform and probably 1,000 founders, entrepreneurs. Harder for us to create authentic connections, I'd say, with investors, because it's just a much larger number, and there aren't that many of us on the WeFunder team. We're a tech platform, a marketplace, but that's where the individual founders on the platform that are raising money are trying to connect with the investors. For me and my team, connecting with the founders that are raising money on WeFunder authentically, I would say is pretty easy. We're jumping on calls with them, oftentimes like spending hours on the phone, getting to know them, getting to know their business. And so we don't really have that challenge so much, I would say. And obviously, we're trying to hire people on the business development team who are naturally brilliant at building rapport and empathy with the entrepreneurs that they're talking to.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And speaking of authentic things, I don't know if you saw my dog just creep up behind us very authentically.
That's the authenticity right there.
It's really real.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. And
one other point on that, I guess, just a personal note. I mean, we just kind of one example of that. Like, I think I use humor, right? I use humor to try to make that authentic connection. Sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet. Like, I'm a really funny guy, but I think like whatever your strength is, right, is like double down on that, and maybe try to use that to build that rapport or that connection with the customer that you're talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. So the uniqueness of you, your unique, genuine strengths, I think that's so important because that is really authenticity, right? Connecting through who you are. No, that's great advice. Do you have any other real advice for other leaders? Is there anything else that you think is really important?
Many things. Everything is people is probably the most important one. But this Peter Drucker quote I really like as management advice, which is what gets measured gets managed. So if you can track the metric week over week, month over month, and report back on that, then it's amazing how you can nudge people's behavior in the right direction. We had an example of this on my team over the last couple of months. I kind of dropped the ball on reporting and analytics and picked that ball up again a week ago, and started again reporting on how we're doing as a team. And immediately everyone's behavior kind of changed. They started like doing the right things, and because they now see that chart and see their numbers, and so whatever metrics are the most important for you to move, report them, track on them, and then magically they will move in the right direction.
Yes, magically. But you're right. It's a lot of times also just about the focus and the clarity around what we're trying to accomplish, right? Because if we can be busy all day long, every day, day to night, there's a lot that can be done for any organization. So I agree with you. And I think part of it is also just here's what we're looking at. Here's what's important. Let's rally around them so that magically we can achieve these goals.
Yeah.
I love that. Very cool. Well, before we get to our final question about how you got started, are there any other successful executives such as yourself that you would like to acknowledge while you're on this podcast?
Yeah, my partner in crime at WeFunder, Susanna Rush, I would say she is the de facto COO of WeFunder, and we work together at Kiva.org, which is a nonprofit that I was at for 7 years before joining WeFunder, and now we've been at WeFunder for the last 3 years together. We joined pretty much the same day, and so WeFunder's really exciting growth. Over the last 3 years, we've kind of lived that together firsthand. I think we complement each other super well. But also I think one of the awesome things about it, if like I moved from Kiva to WeFunder, and then I brought Susanna along as well. And for me, if you find examples of that where someone moves to a different company, and then the people that they bring to that company are like the brilliant, the people, right? Of everyone they worked with, is like, who do they really, really want to kind of bring with them to the new company? And so she's a great example of that. But she leads the operations team at WeFunder and is, I would say, the best manager of people that I've ever seen.
Well, she sounds fantastic. So appreciate you shouting her out here.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned a couple of career moves already, but one of the things we love to ask our guests is how they got started. So can you tell us about your first job?
Yeah, I was selling Windows over the telephone in a cold calling office back in England, where I'm from, and it was very, very miserable. Just was given a list of phone numbers to call. I guess this still happens today, although I'm certainly ignoring every number I don't recognize these days. But yeah, even back in the day, which was probably 20 years ago now, the vast majority of people would hang up the phone immediately, or if they did talk, would be mad that, like, how did you get my number? And so it was pretty grueling, pretty soul-destroying work, and probably every job I've had since then, however hard it is, it looks kind of cushy by comparison.
Yeah, well, persistence you probably took away from that, right? Just
Yes.
doing it again.
Yes.
All right, I'll just
Exactly.
do it over again because I got this list.
Resiliency, tenacity.
Yeah.
Trying to maintain hope and positivity through adversity. Yeah, super valuable character building skills.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool. Well, how can people get a hold of you and learn more about the company?
Yeah, they can go to wefunder.com, or I'm on LinkedIn at Jonny Price, and Twitter at Jonny C. Price.
Lovely. Well, appreciate you joining us today, and thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is Anna Crowe. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Thanks so much. Make it a great day.
Cheers, Anna. Bye.
Bye.